Hey everybody, I am Chef Tovia and welcome to the Sugary Suite. I'm going to show you how to make these buttermilk dinner rolls that are so soft and squishy when you go to squeeze them they rise back up. I'm going to be using my Geek Chef stand mixer demonstrating this today. Here are the ingredients you're going to need. Please don't forget to follow me on social media. That information is in the description box under the video. And also please subscribe and hit the bell and so that way you'll be notified of my new uploads. So let's get started with today's demo. I'm going to show you how to make my buttermilk dinner rolls using my Geek Chef stand mixer. I absolutely love this machine. So I'm using instant yeast here, not active dry yeast. So make sure you use instant yeast. So that's one package. And then I have here some salt. And I'm using sea salt. And then I'm going to use also some sugar. I'm gonna tilt the head down. Gonna just mix these ingredients together. And now what I'm gonna do is I have some butter that's just sort of melted here. Just slightly melted. It could be at room temp. Then I have buttermilk that I've warmed up. It's about 108 degrees. That's whole cultured buttermilk, not no low fat stuff. And then I have here some warm water. So I am intentionally starting with the paddle attachment, and because I'm going to beat this for 2 minutes. This is just to help beat up help create the structure for the bread, but it will be changed to the dough hook. So I'm going to beat this on medium high speed for exactly 2 minutes. So I'm going to change to my dough hook now. Let's remove my paddle. Now I'm going to add in enough of the remaining flour to create a dough. So that's why you see the range of the flour. This is not absolute. So I'm going to add another cup because we started with 2 cups of flour. I add 1 more cup because I can know that 1 cup will go because it's such a wet dough. I'm going to tilt the head down and leave it on 1. Lowest speed. I'm just going to let this mix together for a minute and see how much it pulls away from the side of the bowl. Okay, so I'm going to stop the machine for a minute. I'm going to just give it a hand here, kind of scrape everything. Put the machine back down, turn it on. Now it's starting to pull together as a dough. Okay. So now the 4th cup of flour we're going to add, but I'm not going to add all of it at one time. Stop the machine. I'm going to tilt the head up. I'm going to add about 5 tablespoons of that flour. 5 tablespoons or so. Turn it back on. Just let it mix for a minute. So I'm going to move it where you can see it, because the machine is beginning to pull the dough together as a nice sticky dough. I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to give it a just give it a little hand here and scrape. So you want the dough to be sticky, but not this sticky, not to the point where it leaves all this extra dough in your hands, so you know that the dough is too sticky. So I'm going to add a few tablespoons of flour, about 5 or 6 tablespoons of that flour. I'm going to mix it in. Head back down to low. I'm going to let this knead for a minute. The object is to add enough flour to create a dough that's sticky but not too sticky. Okay, I'm gonna tilt the head up. You can just look at that dough and tell it's still pretty sticky. So we don't want it to be that sticky. So I'm gonna add a remaining of that type of flour. Turn the machine back on. So I'm gonna add some more flour to this because it's still pretty sticky. I'm gonna add it just a couple of tablespoons at a time, about 3 tablespoons at a time. So the dough is starting to pull away from the sides of the bowl, almost completely. I'm going to add a little bit more flour. Turn off the machine for a minute, just to kind of pull everything down. It's still relatively it's still pretty sticky, but we're almost where we want it to be. In fact, I think this might be actually perfect. So what I'm going to do is just let this knead the dough for about 5 minutes. I'm going to knead it on medium-low speed, like number 2. So I'm going to let it knead for 1 minute, and we're going to look at it and see how much longer we need to let it. Okay, so it's been a minute, and you see the dough's pulling away from the sides of the bowl. The dough is still pretty sticky. It's sticky, but it's not really leaving much residue, but you see it has a nice sort of silky-like texture. So this is what we're after. So I'm going to let this knead again for about 3 to 4 more minutes. I think 4 more minutes is going to be good. Okay, so it's been 4 minutes. We kneaded the dough about a total of 6 minutes or so. So I think this is good. The dough's not, too sticky. And I think the dough is perfectly kneaded. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pull the dough out of the bowl. Just going to pull it from the sides. I'm just pulling the dough from the sides of the bowl here. And then what I'm going to do is just cover the top of the bowl with some plastic wrap of the bowl. This keeps the drafts out. If you don't have any plastic wrap, you can use any type of recycled plastic, a plastic bag or whatever. So I'm going to cover this and let this rise to a double. And please don't forget to check out my previous videos as well, guys, and subscribe if you like my channel so far. And I'm going to be having a post schedule soon. Okay, so we're going to cover this and let this rise for an hour. So I have my dough here, and it's doubled in size. So I'm just going to pull it from the sides of the bowl. It's okay that the dough's sticky. Don't worry. Really nice sticky dough. And this is what we're after. We don't want it to be too dry because these are going to be light and fluffy. So I have here a 9 by 13 inch casserole or baking pan. You can use a glass dish or regular. And I'm going to spray it down with baking spray that has flour in it. Or you can butter your dish down. And I'm using for baking, not like regular pan. Okay, so I'm gonna divide the dough into 60-gram balls. We're gonna create 16 rolls. Try to get it, as close to 60 grams as possible. So that's 61 gram, which is fine. I'm not going to shape them yet. I want to just handle the dough as little as possible. I got all my dough balls here rolled out or pulled out. They're weighed out. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of pull the dough from the outside edges towards the middle. And then just kind of shape it into a ball and then pinch all that dough together, push it in, and roll it around. I'm going to place it into my pan here. Just pulling the dough together, pinching, and rolling as a ball on the counter. So, kind of pressing all the air out the dough, gathering it, pinching it, and then roll on the counter. And what that does is it just makes sure you don't have a roll that the seam isn't on the side, and so on. So here are the rolls. I have 16. I just sort of line them up in the pan the best way I could. Now I'm going to let this rise for about another 30 minutes, and then we're going to bake them. So I have here egg yolks that I've beaten with some buttermilk. That's the egg wash. And I'm going to brush the tops of the dough down. And the dough has rose for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to advise you guys, make 15 instead of 16. Because you'll have 15 will work out better. I made 16, but 15 will work. So I'm just brushing the tops down. When you brush the tops of your dough down, just be careful to make sure you're not pressing the air out. And these type of pastry brush work better to brush your dough down, better than a silicone pastry brush. So my oven's preheated at 425 degrees, and this is going to go in that oven, and it's going to bake for about 18 to 21 minutes. It's important that your oven is preheated and extremely hot. Don't adjust the temperature, because you need that hot heat to hit the bread to make it bake properly. That way the middle of your bread isn't doughy, stuff like that. So before I put them in the oven, I'm gonna sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. It's a light coating. So into the oven it goes for 18 to 20 minutes, just until they're golden brown. So here are my dinner rolls. They baked for 19 minutes, and I have some butter here that's at room temp. I'm just gonna rub it across the top of all the rolls. Just generously rub it down. And that was about 3 tablespoons of butter I used total. Just soak the whole thing down with butter. These are still piping hot. I'm gonna let these sit for about 5 minutes or so I can absorb all this butter. So I'm going to show you that these are pretty soft. You see how they're soft and squishy? They just rise back up. So I'm going to pull a roll out. And look how soft they are. Look at them. Beautiful, soft dinner rolls. Let's just squeeze this right in here. Make it look like it's part of the picture. Okay. So here are the dinner rolls. You see they're nice and golden brown. They're soft, pillowy. And I'm going to pull it apart so you can see the middle. Look at that. Very light and soft. Beautiful. Absolutely delicious. Wow. It just melts right in your mouth. So if your middle comes out too, if it comes out doughy, you see like a little dough line, that means that you probably put too much flour in the dough, or something you did was incorrect. And your oven needs to be hot, extremely hot, as I demonstrated, because the heat from the oven will hit it and it'll make it rise even more. I hope you guys try this recipe. Please add it to a playlist. Please subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified about my new uploads. Please don't forget to check out my previous videos. I have some wonderful stuff out there, like how to make Hawaiian rolls and a couple frosting recipes. But if you have a request for anything that's baked, sweet, or savory, please let me know. Please remember to live and be well. Let's do what we can to come together as one. Thank you for watching The Sugary Sweet, where we're making the world a little sweeter.